Mics are good. Camera's good. All right. We are
check.
live. Harrison, what's up, my friend? Ladies and gents, boys and girls, we are live. This is the Windup. We're live from Omaha Baseball Village. You see the Golden Spikes Award behind us, presented to you by our friends over at Chinook Seedery. We are here on site after a very, very long Wednesday trek. It took us about 12 hours to get here with stops, a couple fast food
from
stops.
Nashville, add a couple 4 hours for me from Atlanta.
+4 for Harrison coming from the ATL. We have officially made it. Again, we appreciate you all tuned in. We appreciate all those out and about. First things first, want to say thank you to our friends over at Chinook Seedery. There'll be more thanks to follow with them. You see the gloves on table. They got a lot of big stuff going on. Shout out my guys, Matt and Brandon, who are part of the reason we are late today. We are very on brand late today, very SEC on brand. Show up late to the party and think you run the party anyways. So, anyways.
Hey, when you win 5 straight national championships from the SEC.
Don't say it too loud. Schools, you'll get some feelings hurt out here. Don't say it too loud.
Slack,
Don't say it too loud. Anyways, we appreciate you all tuning in, guys, as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast where we get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. And as always, we're powered by our friends over at FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FANDUEL.com/SECU to get $250 in bonus bets today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Windup. We are live from Omaha Baseball Village here in Omaha, Nebraska. We are officially set up at the Chinook Seedery and USA Baseball booths. Our friend Chinook just next. You can actually see the photo booth here just in the corner of the video if you're watching. Obviously, this beautiful trophy, the Golden Spikes Award. I'm actually staring at Charlie Condon's name on this side, Dylan Cruz, Melendez, Kevin Kopp, some SEC legends, even though Melendez wasn't
late 70s, early 80s.
He wasn't a Big 12.
Bob Horner.
Yeah, so
Terry Francona.
We're having a great time. Yeah, a lot of legends. Again, I'm joined by my guy Harrison Fant. Harrison, once again, it's always a pleasure. I appreciate you. Happy to be here with you. Your headwear looks good. For those who aren't watching it on podcast, Harrison's got the new lid on. I've got the Chinook Seeds t-shirt on. We are very on brand late today, which, again, is how we've been rolling all season, kind of a show-and-go mentality, but we are here rocking and rolling with you. We'll call it for the next hour 15. You already know the deal. But anyways, live in Omaha, guys, this is what's so cool about this. Number one, partnering up with our friends over at Chinook makes this really special. USA Baseball makes this really special. First of 3 live on location shows. And today, folks, as I told Harrison a few weeks ago, you heard me say it, the cool part about this time of year is every single show, the next one is the biggest show of the season. They get bigger and bigger and bigger and more fun and more fun. And today, Harrison, I'm really excited because we are talking College World Series. We made it. We've got the 8 teams.
We made it.
We're here on site. The games get going tomorrow. Going to talk the bracket and lock in, similar to what we did to Hoover, going to lock in our game-by-game predictions for the entire tournament. As the tournament goes throughout, we'll update, obviously. We'll give updated projections, picks as we find out who's in the title, whatever. You know, this time next week, obviously, it'll be a much different layout than what we have right now. But we're going to do our very best to make our game-by-game picks, talk a little gambling, talk a little everything. I'm excited, man. I'm fired up. Again, you can tell I'm fired up. It's good to be here. Good to be here with you. And this is not to get too sappy in the beginning, but this is a dream realized. We came here just a year ago, kind of bright-eyed and taking it all in. And it was like drinking water out of a fire hose, and we had a great time. This year, coming in with a game plan to rock this place, to make our presence felt, and I'd say we're doing that already pretty early. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, 16-hour drive, probably total of car ride for me. We got here at 1:30. We got to the hotel last night, 1:30 Eastern time, so 12:30 Central. Sorry, I'm still in Eastern time.
You're still in the Eastern time.
I know.
Yes, guys on the
time
Eastern
zone. Best time zone.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we got to the ballpark here. You made a pit stop before you can get to the hotel. Stopped in front of the stadium, in front of the big sign. Got a little bit of content there. Saw the stadium, just the kind of glow at the stadium at night. The calm before the storm we saw. Got some good pictures. I mean, obviously our first stop when we got here had to be the stadium, the Charles Schwab Field, home of the 2020, home of the NCAA College World Series. I mean, no better place to start and no better place to kick off with a preview show of the College World Series than with the Golden Spikes Award, the best award in college baseball, the award that goes to the top amateur athlete across the country. I mean, I'm stoked to be here. And
the award
so
officially,
stoked.
by the way, will be presented, I think they said 30 minutes before game 1 of the College World Series finals. We are hoping and we are thinking that an SEC ball player will take home that award. We will Aloy, obviously, with a great shot. Liam Doyle, we'll see. Had a rough outing in Fayetteville. He could still possibly win it. And our buddy Lodis from Florida State, who is not here with us, unfortunately, but Oregon State knocked him out. So, anyways, we'll know that here shortly. But again, guys, really appreciate you all tuning in. I can't say it enough. Thank you to our friends over at Chinook Seedery, my guys Matt and Brandon, for having us, the entire Chinook team. I probably, by the way, Matt, downed about 6 bags of seeds on the drive yesterday.
At least.
Harrison, it was a seed diet on the way. So
probably, definitely. Diet.
No, the seeds. You got to have a seed
Chris
cup
had
in the
3
car.
meals before I even had one.
You got to have a seed cup in the car. Have your seeds on deck. Have them ready. And I enjoyed myself. So they had to affect the weigh. Yeah, Harrison got his weigh in this morning. Harrison got his weigh in. The kid's got his beard tightened up. He's got his run club found. He's ready.
We're still working on that part, but hey, I will say he's stuck to just the smokehouse barbecue. He really didn't deviate from the.
I did jalapeno ranch.
Jalapeno ranch, first bad, but
Parmesan and pepper. I did that too.
After that, he goes, I'm gonna go random and whatever I'm gonna get there, and then he pulls it out. I say it's gonna be dill pickle. He goes, I can't. I got to do something else. Yeah. And he goes straight and replaces it.
Listen, I'm not a huge pickle guy, but what I'm going to do before I leave Omaha, I'm going to power rank the seeds. They're all great, but I'm going to give my power rank because I know, like you, OG is number 1. The originals, he's the go-to original guy. Sometimes it does hit. I will say.
I need to try
where
the
does cinnamon toast crunch fall? Like, that's the question, the pressing question. Is it, does it deserve its own category? Some people are saying maybe it deserves its own category. I don't know. Some people are talking. All right, let's talk some baseball. Let's talk this bracket. Let's talk this tournament. Let's talk the College World Series. Again, this is our official College World Series preview and prediction show. Again, guys, content bleeding out of the eyeballs throughout this tournament. We're going to start today and preview this thing. Harrison, let's talk the bracket because you and I have had a lot of conversations, especially on the drive down yesterday throughout the week. Bracket 1, bracket 2, what that looks like. And I think you and I both agree that while nothing can be taken for granted in this tournament, it is undoubtedly bracket 2 that has our attention. When you look at LSU, you look at Arkansas, obviously we are here for the SEC. It's bracket 2 that I think that's the big debate. Whoever wins game 1 on Saturday, that's people feel really confident. Like those are the 2 favorites to win it all. That's who's going to come out of bracket 2. Bracket 1, and just going through the brackets, bracket 2, like I mentioned with the SEC, UCLA, Murray State, Arkansas, LSU. Bracket 1, though, my friend, Coastal Carolina, Arizona, Oregon State, and Louisville. Who knows? I mean, genuinely, who knows?
I feel like it's a little bit more intriguing bracket 1 than bracket 2 with, you get the mid-major, Coastal Carolina. You get a Big 12 team, former Pac-12 in Arizona. You get an independent team in Oregon State, former Pac-12. And you get an ACC club that, I'm going to be honest, no one really expected or projected Louisville to be here of the ACC schools that had the best shot and the best teams and best odds. So it's, I think, going to be the more intriguing side and the more unknown, like you said, just trying to figure out who comes out of that, the strategies behind that. The bottom bracket 2, like you said, I think a lot of people hate, especially us covering the SEC, hate that LSU Arkansas are the first game of their College World Series.
But we agree, though, no reseeding. No reseeding in the College World Series. Are you a reseed guy? Are you they should reseed to the College World Series guy?
I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
Whoa.
Not against it. Not against it. But
we didn't have this convo.
I would be fine either way, though, is the thing. I'd be fine. I'd be fine either way. Hey, but we do know, and I am glad that as long as the LSU-Arkansas game is head-to-head first game in Omaha for each team, it's a Saturday night. That place is going to be rowdy. It's going to be decked out purple, gold, and red. I'm stoked to see it. It gives LSU fans, Arkansas fans, a lot of time to get here, a lot of time to pregame, tailgate, everything, enjoy the experience. And what better way to cap off Saturday in the first round of the College World Series than with LSU and Arkansas on the field and in the stadium? Man, I mean, I'm stoked. Find me a brick wall.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. 6 o'clock first pitch on Saturday night, obviously. I loved what Jay Johnson said, which is what you'd expect this response. I'm sure Dave Van Horn echoed it at some point, but Jay Johnson said, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but this felt inevitable. We're either going to see him in the finals or we're going to see him in game 1. So let's see him in game 1. Like, why not? Let's just get straight to it, knock down, drag out. But the bracket is so interesting because, like you said, we have both of these SEC teams on one side. And everybody's just kind of feeling like it's one of those two. Whoever wins game 1 is at minimum taking the high road or on the high road to get to the national championship, the final series. Again, Harrison, just the other side to me so fascinating because we know about my history with Coastal Carolina. We can get more into that, but I think they're a great team. Pitching staff's elite. Arizona, what do you make of Zona? They just beat UNC, who was everybody's, at least a lot of people's, national title pick. Then you go down to the rest of it. I mean, Oregon State, it speaks for itself, their resume and the type of ball club they are, and again, what they did at Florida State. And then Louisville, I just don't feel like anybody knows what to expect from Louisville. And you've seen Louisville in person.
I've covered 3 games for Louisville against the Georgia Tech series, the second to last regular season series of the season. And, I mean, we know it's a Dan McDonald-led team that, as incredibly great as a head coach as he is, he knows how to get the best out of his players. He has been here before with very talented teams. He's one of the best. He's always a head coaching candidate or thought when the boards open up for vacancies around the ACC, SEC, and further beyond that for rightful reasons. I mean, I've had a chance to talk to him pre-game, pre-series for that series, and really love talking to him and enjoying him, just how he talks about this team in a different facet. Like, this is just such a unique team for him, and different than he's kind of ever had. It feels like flying on the radar, but they just love playing for each other. They love playing with each other, and they're just so open to learning and just appreciate the process.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch them. Again, that bracket 1 to me is where a lot of the mystery lies. And I think if this postseason's taught us anything, truly expect the unexpected, right? And that kind of moves me into, Harrison, I want to talk some favorites, some sleepers with you, and the favorites we know, right? And I want to run through really quickly again. Shout out to our friends at FanDuel. Make sure you're placing all of your bets with our friends at FanDuel. Make sure, hey, this is the last day to get the latest odds to win the College World Series per our friends at FanDuel. Arkansas is your favorite, plus 200. LSU, plus 230 right behind them. So the SEC is favored going in this thing, as they should be. But again, plus 230 for the Tigers. Coastal Carolina with the third best odds, Harrison, to win it all at plus 600. Oregon State at plus 650. So obviously the favorites coming out of bracket 1 per Vegas, per FanDuel, is Coastal and Oregon State.
I don't think
that's a huge surprise. Then you look down the rest of the list, Harrison, to win the whole thing now. UCLA plus 850, Arizona plus 1,400, Louisville plus 1,600, and Murray State plus 4,200. Obviously, the long shots, the 4 seed that makes the College World Series. Harrison, we know the favorites, right? Arkansas, LSU. I want to talk more sleepers, long shots. When you look at the field, because, again, this postseason's taught us, it's not a bad idea to sprinkle some coin on the underdog. Who's the underdog you're looking at? Who's the long shot that you say, again, kind of like we did with Hoover. Maybe it's not your pick to win it, but maybe it's worth throwing a couple on them, a little bit on them, just in case something wacky happens like it has all postseason, really.
Now, specify, people, what do you consider a long shot exactly? So not top 4?
I think outside of the top 4. I think LSU, Arkansas, obviously, and I think Coastal, Oregon State are kind of your favorites out of each bracket. So of the next 4, of the bottom 4, who are – because here's the thing, man. I'll tell you this. I don't think in this College World Series, I don't think you can count anybody out. Like, I think it's as wide open as we've seen in quite some time. It really feels – there's no team where I look at and say, like, Tennessee last year kind of felt like, dare I say, like team of destiny a little bit. Like, it was like they were just on that. We were on a collision course to get Tennessee and A&M, right? It kind of felt that way. I don't really get that feeling this year. I mean, I know, I feel good about LSU. I feel good about Arkansas, the SEC teams. Like, their storylines written in with each of them. But there doesn't, like, it, to me, it genuinely feels wide open. So I don't think to say even betting on the bottom 4 would be a bad pick. But if you had to go with one, who's one of those in the next 4 that you think be worth a long shot play?
Yeah, and I think it's a team that is a long shot, but maybe more of a sleeper, just flying on the radar on both sides of the bracket. Chris, I got to go with the Arizona Wildcats. I really do. I mean, just no one, like you said, no one. Pick. I think only 2 people I saw pick them across the board. Ross Media, cover college baseball. Our guy, Jake McKeever, I think was the only one that I know that I picked him in. You got to give him props for that. I'm going to give him props for that. But I really think this Arizona team that has a lot of talent on it, and when you look at it, they have 2 huge batsmen on it, Mason White and Aaron Walton. I mean, just both guys batting over 1,000 OPS. Mason White over 1,100 OPS and just a catalyst in that offense. A ton of talent up and down this roster that I feel like flies on the radar of the 1 through 9 that they can produce with anyone in that, but doesn't like have that top end, heavy, deep lineup that we think of when we talk about Arkansas or LSU or even Oregon State. But the biggest thing for me is going to come down to the pitching side. And, they only have 2 really their primary go-to starters of Smith, Bailey, and Owen Krimkowski, the guys that qualify, both have 17 starts. Outside of that, Colin McKinney with 13 starts. I think he's going to be a huge piece for them, and just interesting to see kind of how they play that pitching matchup kind of strategy game within the game. We talked about that with Hoover, right? Just how do teams want to approach that? I think the College World Series is here. It's, you can't, throw, and even a regional, you can't throw your two-guy, your second game starter against a 4 seed. Here, you got to throw your best when they're available, and that's why we're going to see, expect to see Zach Root in game 1, expect to see Cade Anderson in game 1. These guys like that. I think you got to expect to see Smith Bailey in game 1. Honestly, and he's
every game's do or die. It's all
exactly.
Do or die.
And the way that the tournament works, like if you lose a game here, you're fighting uphill battle. You really are, because you got to play the extra game less, the day of rest less, or possibly 2 days rest less. So we're interesting to see about that. But the way that they came back after losing 18-2 to one of the best teams in college baseball. We talked about it in the car on the way here. If you ask anyone to name that covers baseball, that name the top 8 teams in the country,
the 8 best teams in their
best
opinion.
Teams, how many of them are not going to say UNC? I don't think anyone will.
I don't think anybody.
So to come back from down, losing game 1, 18-2 on the road across the country, to come back, win game 2 in the style they did, win game 3 in a comeback fashion, I don't think you can count Arizona out. And I think people aren't talking about them enough in just what Chip Hale has done. And as great of a head coach as he is, Arizona is kind of a sleeper Omaha team, that one of those best West Coast teams that people don't talk about enough, give enough credit. You saw them at the beginning of the season. Weren't really that impressed, but
didn't look great in Arlington. That was a long time ago, though.
I know,
a long time ago.
It's not about how you play in February. It's about how you play in late May and June, and they're doing that, playing some of their best baseball right now. And I don't think you can count out the Arizona Wildcats at all.
I love that pick. You talked me into that pick in the car. I almost took the same pick as my underdog, my long shot. I'm going to go a different route, obviously, but I do love, like you said, the grit they showed after losing 18-2 in game 1. You can't overstate how impressive that was. You can't overstate it. To be able to pick yourself up off the mat and not just come back the next day and show up and, play with any sort of intensity, energy, and belief, but to come back and win the next 2 when everybody is expecting to get your tail kicked again. That, my friend, was impressive. That was really, really impressive. And I think
across the country at Chapel Thrill,
I think, honestly, not enough people, and I haven't seen everybody's predictions out there, but I tell you this, Coastal, but this ain't a shot at Coastal, obviously, but Coastal better watch out that first game. I
do love Coastal's pitching. We'll get into that
I do
more.
too. Yeah, we will. But I'm just saying, Arizona, I agree with you. You can think whatever you want about them, but they took down the team that a lot of people were picking to win it all. So obviously this team is loaded with their own talent and can go on a run.
Yeah, Maddox Mike was a big catalyst of that game too.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say what's so funny is you can talk me into all these teams. You can even talk me to Murray State.
Ball knowers know. I have talked you to Murray State.
Dude,
I talked you into the Super Regional.
I may not make the pick, but you can at least give me a compelling argument where I'm I could. You're not totally it's not some crazy long shot. Yeah. All these teams, I think, can make a super deep run at minimum, make the finals.
It's not like they haven't seen good pitching. They had to go through Ryan Lynch, who went 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, and Jake Knapp and Jason DeCaro. You go through that big of a arm talent for UNC, you can play with anybody.
Yeah. So Harrison, you went Arizona, who is plus 1,400 long shot. I'm gonna go a little shorter odds, but I think a team that nobody's talking about is UCLA. The only teams getting talked about in bracket 2 are LSU and Arkansas, of course, Murray State because of the Cinderella. UCLA is the forgotten team in that bracket, I feel like. I'm not really seeing anybody giving UCLA love. And when you think UCLA baseball, when I think of it, you think back to Trevor Bauer, Garrett Cole, they always pitch
2010s.
well. They always pitch well. It was typically the bats that gave them trouble. Harrison, this postseason, they've scored 19, 11, 8, 5, and 7 runs in their games. They can swing the hell out of the stick too. We know they can pitch. First time in Omaha since 2013 when they won it all.
Crazy to think.
Am I saying that they're going to come out of bracket 2? Not necessarily, but a long shot pick. Could it happen? Listen, LSU, Arkansas, they're going to beat each other. Somebody's going to beat somebody. So that kind of helps clear the path for you a little bit. You get Murray State, who's a great story, but if you were doing the whole reseeding thing like you're saying, Murray State would be the 8 seed. So you're getting the 8 seed. Am I wrong? They would by default be the 8 seed.
Well, no, they wouldn't get the 8 seed because UCLA wouldn't be the 1 seed.
But you see what I'm saying, though. You see what I'm saying, though. Like, they would be, if we're power ranking the 8, they'd be 8. No disrespect to the Racers, but it's just the reality.
I just know that UCLA is probably glad they're on to play LSU Arkansas in game 1.
I would agree. I think they're very, very glad. So I think UCLA as a team, very, very sneaky. Does a title go back to the West Coast? I think UCLA could be that team that takes it home. Again, we know they can pitch, but this year they are swinging the hell out of it, and that's what excites me about the Bruins.
Yeah, I mean, when you got guys like Raj Chalawowski, I mean, guys like that, he's batting over 1,200 OPS, 367 on the team, and then AJ Salgado, who's over 1,000 OPS. Those are the 2 power production staples in the lineup. And you talk about the arm talent they've had come out of there, Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer. They got some studs on the mound too, Ian May, Landon Stump, and Michael Barnett. Really good guys on the mound, just elite guys that you can count on. None of them are huge strikeout guys, though. I think that's something to watch out for and just see. It's not going to run their pitch count up as much because they're not getting, those deep count strikeouts and things like that. But a lot of ground ball guys get a lot of outs, easier outs. They don't walk a ton of guys, especially Michael Barnett, 71 to 18 strikeout to walk ratio. I mean, I think he goes, and I don't know how they're going to order that because they have 3 really strong arms, but I think they can have some more flexibility than other teams. Not saying they're going against Murray State, but because of the talent they have in the rotation.
I mean, listen,
and they won in 2 games.
Listen, I've gotten in trouble for saying something similar to this sentiment, but I'm going to say it anyways. Like, it's not to say it's an easy matchup because it's not. Murray State's going to be playing hair on fire.
They can hit against anybody,
and they can swing the hell out of it too. Would they have picked a different opponent to face off against in the first game? I don't think they would have. I mean, if they had a choice, this is probably the direction they would have gone.
I think they'd match up with Louisville really well, though.
They do. Maybe we get that in the title. Who knows? Hey, be unexpected. UCLA, by the way, plus 850. So, I mean, it's not even a crazy long shot, but it is a long shot, obviously, compared to the favorite. So, you're going Arizona long shot plus 1,400. I'm going UCLA plus 850. Those are our picks? You have to wait and see and find out. Harrison, before we get into, because we are going to get into our bracket game by game, predicted all the way through the finals. We're taking a chance at this. We're rolling the dice. Some of you are on the edge of your seat saying, please, God, don't pick my team. You'll have to wait and find out. Harrison, before we get there, one X factor for the College World Series, whether it's player, coach, maybe a group. Like, for example, this team's starting rotation, this team's lineup, this specific – if you had to pick one. Again, this is wide open. What's going to be who do you look at as the X factor that's going to go a long way in determining who wins this College World Series? It's tough. That's wide open.
This is off the rip too.
It's off the rip. I didn't hit you with this. You can go individual player, but I kind of like going, dare I say, unit. That's more football, but I like going kind of a collective group.
I got it. Come to me. I'm going to go the veteran presence on the field and coaching the team. The veteran presence.
Just for all these teams.
Yeah, just like the veteran presence of a coach, but also the older guys who have either been here before, have been in the program and started for 3-4 years. Just the veteranness, the maturity, the experience is going to be, I think, an X factor for every team going through this.
Yeah, no doubt. I think experience matters. Look at these teams that are here. A lot of them are very old veteran teams.
Yeah,
we talked
coaches too.
We talked to some coaches
Dave
throughout
Van
the season
Horn,
how important it is.
Dan McDonald, Chip Hale.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Stall's taking over a program that he's been at for such a long time under Gary.
I mean, Gary Gilmore's here.
Yeah.
He's back in Omaha.
Yeah.
Led him, obviously, the 2016 title. I'll give you one SEC, one non-SEC, because my X factor SEC-wise is LSU's pitching staff. 1-2 punch. If Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson are on, it is going to be really, really difficult for everybody else. It's going to be difficult for everybody else if that 1-2 punch is going. Obviously, you'll figure it out after that. We know what Kason Evans has done in the starting role. We've seen Newt be good at times starting. Zach Cowan, we know what he can do. It is a very deep pitching staff, but for me, that is an X factor. Like, if you tell me right now that Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson really just continue to do what they've been doing and they be the studs they are, the two true, that 1-2 punch that I don't know that anybody in this tournament or in college baseball for that matter can match, that's probably going to tell me a lot about who comes out on top and wins the national championship. Non-SEC, if you want to go first, I'm going to think
I like that. I'm glad I didn't think of that too, because I didn't want to go. That felt for me too
low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit to kind of what we've been talking about so much.
Yeah,
I want to go more.
That's fair
broad
enough.
Theme for the tournament. And I think the veteran experience kind of plays.
You're right. No, the older teams have played well this season. The other one that I'll go with, Yeah, I think I like what you said. Arizona's grittiness and toughness and resiliency. I think that's an X factor in this College World Series, just like as a whole. Because, again, I think they could turn a lot of heads in game one if they come out and beat Coastal Carolina. Heck, we could just keep going down the line. I think another X factor. I just said LSU's pitching staff. What about Coastals?
Yeah,
what about Coastals?
I'm talking about Coastal's pitching staff a lot.
And you're in a ballpark. Obviously, the ball's flying. Have they changed out the baseballs? There's some debate on that. We don't know, but this is still a pitcher's park at the end of the day. It's the biggest ballpark you'll play on all season long. It's still going to favor the pitchers. I think Coastal Carolina's pitching staff could absolutely feast here. For as much crap as people think, I think I hate Coastal or I've given them some crap. We had fun on social media. Listen,
you've had a lot of fun.
We've had a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, I recognize ball. We recognize who these teams are. Coastal Carolina can pitch the absolute hell out of it. This ballpark can really play to them. So,
and that's what I said going into the Super Regional against Auburn was Coastal Carolina's pitching staff and how lethal, and I've said it several times, the three-headed dragon they have of a pitching staff. I think it's really up there with LSU's and Arkansas's pitching staff, honestly. I don't think a lot of people are talking about that in comparison to those schools because of it's a mid-major, just the dominance and big names that LSU has had pitching-wise over the years, especially this year, that everyone kind of talks about throughout the season. Same with Arkansas, with Zach Root and company, Gabe Gackle and Gage Wood, those guys. I think that Coastal's pitching staff is still not talked about enough. And when you have the three-headed snake that they have, they can kind of play with it around too. Like I said with UCLA, they can kind of play around with it. It's the biggest thing for me is, Riley Eckhoff didn't pitch in the Super Regionals. They didn't have to. They went 2 and sweep. Yeah. So how are they going to use him? Are they going to use him kind of in a long relief maybe? Or are they going to kind of just keep in the rotation? I think he has the versatility to do that. But when you have Riley Eckhoff, Jacob Morrison, who's the big arm, he's 11-0 this season. I don't take a ton of stock into win-loss except when it's that drastic of a number. I mean, he's got a .93 whip. I mean, in 16 starts. And Cameron Fluke, I think just the three-headed dragon that Coastal has is going to be lethal and needs to be talked about more.
Coastal's going to be a fun team to watch. Harrison, before we dive in the bracket, I want to go back. Let's focus SEC. That's why these good people are here. That's why people watch us. I just mentioned I want to kind of go back to that X factor for each SEC team. I said LSU's pitching staff with Arkansas. I'm going to go Davalon in the lineup. I think Davalon's been a big guy. We know about Aloy and Iredale. I think Davalon's been a dude you've looked at in the postseason. A lot of big knocks from Davalon. Obviously, the Arkansas lineup as a whole is a factor, but Davalon, to me, has really heated up. He's gotten red hot, had a big swing, I believe it was on Sunday, the big home run off of, I believe maybe it was off of Liam Doyle that really got the party going. When you look at the two SEC teams specifically, what are the keys for them, the X factors for them? Again, I'm going LSU pitching staff, Charles Davalon, the way he's come on in the postseason. When you look at these two, where do you go? Yeah,
I'll go Arkansas and then LSU. For Arkansas, for me, I think it's going to be more of the role play guys. The guys that aren't the big names, like Wahiba Aloy, Kaluhi Aloy. I think it's going to be more of the guys like Brett Iredale, Reese Robinette, who's really heated up. He's had 3 or 4 home runs now and big moments for these home runs, big opportunities for that. Guys that are just not the staples or, the core run production unit for Arkansas, just those guys, because you got to be able to score at any part of the lineup if you want to go win the College World Series here. And I think that's going to be such an important piece that, people are going to focus on, the Charles Davalons, the Logan Maxwells, the Wahio Aloys, Golden Spikes finals for a reason, right? So I think that's going to be a big piece for me for Arkansas. For LSU, I honestly think it's going to be the same thing. I think so, because we talk about how the lineup has had some struggles at times, but I think Bear Jones heating up, getting hot, and staying hot here in Omaha is an important piece. We know how well Stephen Milam plays defense, Monster Milam, and how clutch he is at the plate. It feels like late in the postseason. Guys like that, like, Ethan Fry, just the production of their lineup as a whole, because I'm not worried about it, but I think it's not more of a concern. I have a little bit less confidence in it than I do the pitching staff in the bullpen for LSU. I think it's going to be the production, bottom of the lineup, and kind of role play guys for both teams for me, Arkansas and LSU, surprisingly.
On the offensive side for LSU, I'll say Bear Jones. Bear Jones, I thought in the Super took some really good at bats. I think we talked about I think he had 4 knocks over the weekend, 4 or 5 knocks over the weekend. Really encouraging sign. He sits back on a breaking ball, drives it the other way. That may sound like nothing major to some of you out there listening, but what do you think, Matt? You think Bear Jones going the other way with a breaking ball is a big deal? I think it's a pretty big deal.
No, that's typically where he takes the
but after slumping, I'm saying, because he was like 1 for 30.
He's got backside pop. We all know that.
He struggled with just
It was a good sign. It was a good sign. I thought it was a good sign. Anyways, Bear Jones coming alive in that lineup because I think, at least I think that if that LSU lineup does even remotely what they've done, and granted, they're going to see better pitching. We understand that. West Virginia's pitching staff, what do you make of them? They're able to get through the regional, obviously. We felt good about LSU doing so. But if Bear Jones comes alive, and then you got Derek Curiel around him, Danny Dickinson around him, Jake Brown around him, the rest of that lineup, you feel, Monster Milam's heating up. He's coming alive. Luis Hernandez, Michael Braswell, you feel pretty darn good about LSU if they continue to swing it the way they have. So, Harrison.
And Chris, I think the biggest piece before that for me, the production outside the kind of the core guys, the nucleuses of the offenses, because we know how big Charles Schwab Fields plays. Yeah. It plays.
And LSU
double.
Not a home run team. It might work to their advantage.
Not a home run team like we've seen other LSU teams in past, but it is a big ballpark. The gaps are huge. Just be taking advantage of that, getting extra bases, getting good reads from first. But specifically, if you can score in the gap on a run with a runner on first, that's gonna be huge and clutch, I think, for a lot of teams because you got to take advantage of that. Because if you think about it, opportunities, if you don't score there, get left on third, leaving runners in score position could be monumentally huge and important for this. To win it all here, you got to take care of the little things and do that, and base running is going to be huge.
The keys of the game don't change, even on the biggest stage. Pitch well, play great defense, and have timely hitting. You do those three things and do them at a high rate, do them consistently, you have a pretty good shot
at the end of the day, Chris, just score more runs than the other team. That's all you got to do to win, right?
That's ball nowhere vibes. That's ball nowhere. Other X factor, these two fan bases, Arkansas and LSU, that'll show up, show out. The smell of bourbon will fill the air on Saturday, probably actually starting today, and I can't wait for it. So excited to see you all out here, Hogs and Tigers alike. All right, you ready to lock in some picks?
Let's do it. I'm here.
Let's get to the brackets. We're going to let Harrison get the honors and start us off here. Same as we did when we were in Hoover. If you guys saw that show, we're going to go through game by game. We'll try to make this as simple as possible because obviously with loser bracket stuff, it can get a little confusing. But we're going to show it on air for those watching, for those listening. We're going to have Harrison walk us through his picks. So without further ado, Harrison Fant's official game by game College World Series prediction. Again, of course, games get going tomorrow. We've got Coastal Carolina, Arizona leading us off. Oregon State and Louisville in the nightcap of Friday. And then, of course, Saturday, UCLA and Murray State, followed up by the game of opening weekend, Arkansas, LSU, Saturday night. I mean, I don't really have to spend a ton of time hyping that one up. So, anyways,
before I get into that, I want to ask you, what's the biggest game for bracket one and day one? What do you think, like the biggest game? Because obviously, or you can even say outside of
my
LSU,
attention's
Arkansas.
on Coastal Arizona. I'm really curious. Again, that you've taught me into that Arizona team quite a bit, and I think Coastal Carolina undoubtedly comes in with a chip on their shoulder, for different reasons. So I'm excited to see that one play out. I really am. That's the one I look at. I mean, again, Oregon State, Louisville they're both going to be great, but that one admittedly is where my attention most is, that Coastal Arizona game.
Yeah.
So,
and with that being said, we'll start there for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
This one was probably the toughest game to pick outside of LSU, Arkansas. And I think for a lot of the reasons that we've mentioned already, I just think the willpower, the grittiness, the holding the line fortitude that Arizona has and has proven on the road across the country in Chapel Thrill to do that against one of the best teams in the country. They can beat them. They can play with anybody. I firmly believe that. And then you have the hottest team in college baseball, Coastal Carolina, your favorite team, your favorite mid-major. And they're on a 25-game heater now. I mean, we don't
27, I believe.
You don't ever see that in college baseball coming to the postseason.
Are they due to lose?
Are they due to win another national championship? Last time they were here, we know what happened.
Something's got to give.
So for me, it's got to be to match up there to start. This is a great way to start the tournament and the College World Series. The pitching matchup, do they go Jacob Morrison? Do they go Riley Eckhoff, who hasn't pitched? Like I said, he didn't pitch in the Super, so he hadn't pitched since the regional. Obviously, I think they've taken care of that with some simulated innings and things like that. I got to go Coastal. Leaning Coastal, leaning the hot hand here. I know they're both hot. They're all hot. They're all in Omaha, right? But I just think
everybody's hot at this
I
point.
trust the pitching more at Coastal right now than I do Arizona, but the grittiness, the willpower of their lineup, I have a lot of faith in. So that's why it's the hardest pick for me. After that, game two, what is it? Louisville?
Oregon State.
I just love what I see in the consistency, the high floor that Oregon State has, the offensive production that they've been able to show and put out throughout not only the regional, but the super regional, and just they can slug it. You want to talk about Murray State can swing at anybody? they can swing it with anybody. I mean, just unbelievably talented team that they have played, 12 games at home before the postseason. They don't care about playing on the road. They're a veteran club. They're an Omaha caliber club, it feels like, almost every year. I just love that. And I think Trent Caraway is a big piece for them. I really do. And just he's the nucleus, and just having him lead the way and just kind of a ripple effect through the lineup. So I got Oregon State in game 1 for over Louisville. Losers bracket will go now. Arizona.
Well, let's go finish the opening weekend first.
Okay.
And then we'll go through the rest. So you got Murray State, UCLA on Saturday.
So Murray State, UCLA.
Got to walk him through this, folks. There's a lot of brain power going on right now.
Not a lot of brain power this pick for me. The one-run racers stay hot in Omaha. Dan Skirk and the boys. Give me the racers, the underdog, the mid-major that no one's talking about, the one that there's not even merch here.
Brother, all week I've seen about their 800-seat field. We're all talking about
me, and then it blows up everywhere else. I will say
everybody's talking about the racers, man.
Yeah, they're talking about the story, but not the team. I think
fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm gonna say.
Speaking of, we got Murray State fans in Omaha Baseball Village.
We're looking at Murray State fans right here. Man. I mean, shout out the racers. They're here in droves. Shout out the Murray State racers. Thanks for showing up. Love the hat, the throwback vintage logo hat, the retro logo.
One of the best.
Look at the retro bracket I made.
One of the best.
LSU fans don't look at it, but when you have just guys like Dustin Mercer, Dom Decker, who's been a catalyst in just having a record year, I think, for Murray State, what he means that lineup, and you have Luke Mistone, who had a big clutch stand-up triple at Duke, which is not a big ballpark. And so, yes, Jonathan Hogard as well. I mean, just an unbelievable athlete there. I think for him, Isaac Silva, I think, and Nick Schulter are going to be huge. Who do they go with in that kind of regard? I think they can go either direction. Both have exactly 138 whip. So give me the Murray State Racers in game 1, riding the one-run racers to come in a clutch game here. I know UCLA is your dark horse. You're kind of your sleeper long shot, but I don't know.
Not a bad pick.
I've been riding Murray State. I said this is the best 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. I said this is the deepest regional in Oxford, most offensive regional. They did that. They proved it. I picked him in the super regional at Duke. Can't back down now. So
all right, now give me the nightcap of Saturday. LSU, Arkansas. Got to make a pick here.
I'm going to one-run ball game. It's gonna be tough, Chris, but I'm going LSU. I trust the floor of Cade Anderson and just the immediate bullpen that I think they'll go with that will execute a little bit more than Zach Rude. We've seen a little bit more consistency, but I mean, I love how he's pitched right now. He just went up in a super regional and absolutely shoved and shut down the Tennessee lineup and did it with flair. I love that. I don't know. I just think there's going to be a clutch hit from someone like, an Ethan Fry or Steven Milan that's going to put him over the edge. That this was the hardest pick, I think, of the season for me. I talk about hardest series and hardest picks. Hardest pick of the season for me was this game. And the winner of this game, Chris, I think sets them up so well to go to the championship. Either if Arkansas wins it, I think they go to the championship. If LSU wins it,
depending on whoever wins LSU Arkansas game 1, you're locking in is in the final.
Yeah, I'm locking it in. Chris. I just think you play one less game. It's so big and so important. And what that means for, you're playing basically 2 weekend series if you want to win it all. 3 games to get the championship and then a 3-game series, right? You got to play an extra game. And how? Let
me ask you this real quick: who of LSU Arkansas, which of those two is better equipped if they lose game 1 to come back out of the losers bracket and then beat that other twice and get to the finals? Because I know my answer.
I'm going to go Arkansas. I just think that LSU does have a little bit more pitching depth to have like a midweek starter that would go in a game like that they could use to get back to that finals. Potentially, you got to beat that team twice. That's in the championship, the winners bracket of that side. But I think the floor of their offense that they can produce and have produced all season long. We've said it, they're the most complete team in college baseball. I think they have a better chance if they lose game 1 to make it back to the finals and beat LSU, who I think it would be in that situation, twice to go to the championship. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised. But they have the best odds, I think, in the best lineup in talent team to do so. So with that being said, we're going to go losers bracket at the top. Arizona, Louisville. I love Dan McDonald. I love this team that they have and just the grit that they've gotten to get here at this point. Phenomenal head coach, Eddie King Jr., Jake Monroe. But
somebody's going 2 in Q.
Someone has to, and I hate it. I hate to say it, but I think Arizona comes out on top. The way that they played and came back against UNC, I just don't believe that they're going to go 2 in Q here.
Right.
I don't. Someone has to. I just think Arizona's grit and willpower. I think they're going to get over that hump, win that game there, drop down to the bottom bracket. What is it? Murray's. It's going to be UCLA,
Here,
Arkansas.
let's stick. We'll do this. Stick with the top bracket.
Okay, this
and
is
then
why
we'll
I
go
thought
to-
it was going to be confusing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
So-
should have let you just run wild with this.
Should have let me do
Which
it.
I'm shocked you don't have the bracket pulled up
I have
on
it
your
right here.
screen to make this a little bit easier.
I got it right
So,
here.
yeah, just
I
stick
can
with the
see it.
top bracket. I just wanted to get the opening
Yes,
weekend games.
yes.
Now you can
So
proceed,
recap:
yes.
Coastal over Arizona.
I'm throwing
game
a
one.
lot at this kid today.
Oregon
I'm throwing
State
a lot
over
at him.
Louisville. Murray State over UCLA. LSU over Arkansas. Those are the opening. That's opening day, right?
Yes. Opening weekend. Yes.
Opening weekend. So, game 2, Coastal, Oregon State. Give me the Beavers. Give me the Beavers. I'm sorry, Coastal fans. Give me the Beavers. I just think the offensive production, I really love. And I think they're going to swing it the way that this park plays in doubles and just how hot they played against a studded FSU team. I know it was at home. You could say that, but they played most of their games away on the road, like I said this season. But another team, Chris, I think Coastal can run through the losers bracket with their pitching staff. The way they can swing it, I just like how Oregon State matches up there. That's another 50-50. Wouldn't surprise me if Coastal wins that game. Losers bracket there. So Coastal Carolina's going to play Arizona. Coastal with that depth of the pitching staff, I think they win that. I really like how they would go through the loser bracket with their starting rotation. Then a game 11, which would be a rematch against Oregon State. They have to beat Oregon State twice to get to the finals. Remember for this, I think they beat them in game 1. I think they beat Oregon State in game 1.
Force the
revenge.
if necessary
Force the
game.
if necessary game to go to the championship series. And I just think that extra day of rest, that one less game, Oregon State helps so much, and I think they overcome it. That if necessary, game 7 you can call it, to go to the championship series. Oregon State Beavers.
Punch their ticket.
Yeah, and I really like that matchup, and I hope they play 3 times to kind of get that. So drop to bracket 2, Murray State LSU. Give me Anthony Einstein LSU in that lineup. I mean,
Hey, unlike his retro logo bracket,
yeah, unlike that.
so many of you thought he was picking Murray State to be Anthony Einstein. That is
yeah,
not
AYS
the case.
Sports, Blake Ruffino
That is
trying to
not the
revoke my
case.
Bayou card.
Bayou, he's salvaging his Bayou card.
The Bayou
folks.
card is salvaged here. LSU over Murray State. I think Anthony Einstein goes out and has a day. And then
hard to imagine.
You have a Chase Shores
Yeah.
or a Case Evans behind him, or even a Zach Cowan who didn't pitch last weekend that we saw late. And I just too much firepower, too much top end. But I think Murray State swings it a bit.
Yeah.
I think they kind of give LSU a scare early in the game. The fans a scare. But Murray State dropping down the losers bracket. Game 10.
LSU fans getting antsy over an early deficit? Never. That never happens.
Never. I will say that game might not be at nighttime.
May
So
not.
after that, Murray State, Arkansas, in the game 10 losers bracket, a game of bracket 2, Arkansas. Just the depth they have in the pitching staff and the offensive ceiling, let alone the floor they have. I think that one might be a slugfest. I think that's probably going to be like a 10-8 game maybe from the bullpens. But Arkansas just depth too complete to go 1 and 2.
So we get the LSU Arkansas rematch.
We get it again, yes. Game 12. Chris, give me Arkansas to run through this loser bracket. Force that if necessary game against LSU. I'm sorry, LSU fans. I know you don't want to hear it, but I see it happening. Which sets up
So
beautifully.
two if necessary
games, not
to get
one,
to the finals.
but
It's been
2.
that kind of year.
It feels like that, Chris. I mean, we talk about how open this bracket is. Anything can happen in this. I would believe it. There's some things I believe more than others, obviously. That's why I'm making certain picks. If necessary game, I think you get a Case and Evans game. Game 7, if necessary. You get a Chase Shores that's going slinging the rock 101, 102 with ease, how effortless it is. He's not walking a lot of guys right now. And just a clutch hit from like a Stephen Milam and Ethan Fry, something like that having that extra day of rest, Chris, again, and having that one less game played, I think is going to help with the rest and just having guys available. And Arkansas falls in the semifinals of a potential 2018 national championship finals rematch with Oregon State.
Dave Van Horn goes another year without a title.
And I think Jay Johnson just pulls the right triggers, the right pinch hitting move, whatever it is. a clutch defensive play from Stephen Milam to leave a guy on third. A 1-run game, LSU back to the championship, back to the finals against Oregon State.
LSU Oregon State final.
Oregon State final. 3-game series.
Hold on, this would be a rematch. I believe Nate Yeski, was the pitching coach at Oregon State. There's some history there a little bit. I believe. You got to check me on that. Pretty sure.
Yep.
There's history there. There's a lot of history for LSU against some of these teams in the field. A lot of history. Could get LSU Coastal. That'd be history. Big time history.
You could. And 3-game series, LSU, Oregon State. Give me Omaha, baby. Give me Omaha. LSU starting rotation, clutch factor. This place is going to be bleeding purple and yellow. I mean,
purple and gold, purple and gold, right?
Purple and gold.
Bayou card revoked.
Purple and gold.
It's purple and gold.
Hey, GEAUX Omaha, going to Omaha, going to go through Omaha and win it all, Chris. I had the LSU Tigers winning the national championship in 2025 here in three. In three
games.
Okay. 3-game championship. Big if necessary game guide this year. But I think Oregon State's going to slug it. They're going to swing it. Like, they're going to be able to keep up with LSU offensive-wise. I just think the pitching
So
staff
let me ask you
has an
this.
edge.
Oregon State, do they beat Cade Anderson or Anthony Ianson?
I was not informed about having to make this pick.
Just off the rip, just off the jump. Who do you think? Does LSU come back from 0-1 and win the next 2?
I could see it.
One of their aces would
I
have to
could see
lose
it.
to go to game 3 now.
I don't know. I'm not predicting that right now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
But
That's a
give
long
me-
ways from now.
Give me LSU over Oregon State in the championship in 3 games. LSU, another SEC title, another LSU title cementing their legacy and their history of college baseball being one of the pedigrees of college baseball historically.
So after all this, after all the
After
talk
all
about
that.
the SEC wins it all anyways.
After all the talk, after
Wow.
my retro bracket that LSU goes 2-Q in, this is the one that matters, the bracket that matters.
Harrison's
The
trying
one
to get
LSU
that Bayou
fans-
card badly. He almost had it till you said yellow. That kind of threw it off. Matt's never going to forgive
hey.
him for that.
I can still rope with the best of them, the best of the newbies. So
All right, so Harrison's going LSU over Oregon State. It's a good pick. Good pick.
I feel like if
Two of the favorites.
also, Chris, if I didn't pick LSU, no matter what, they'd say my Bayou card's revoked either way. So, but this is based off of just
But this is your genuine
this
pick.
is my
This
actual
your genuine
bracket,
pick,
my ball knower bracket. We'll see how much of it comes
Ball
true.
knower bracket. So you're going with LSU over Oregon State. Good pick. Good pick. Now, funny enough, before we get to my bracket, we talked about this. I said, you know who's going to hate our picks is Matt. Matt's going to loathe our picks. Our guy Matt over at Chinook. You'll find out why in a second. LSU for Oregon State. LSU wins the national title. That's what you're going with.
There's no way you have LSU losing to Arkansas.
As we pull up my bracket here, I will say this, because I'm going to answer a question I asked you about if the loser of LSU Arkansas, depending on who it is, who is more well-equipped to come out of the loser's bracket and go all the way to the finals. I agree it's Arkansas, but I for a different reason. I think Arkansas has got the deeper pitching staff. I think Arkansas has got the more consistent lineup, to be honest with you. Like just top to bottom, 1 through 9.
Yep.
I've told you all season, the thing that terrifies me with LSU is that at times this lineup has just vanished. The offense has just disappeared. And every team's going through cold spells. But it just seems like with LSU, there's been these spurts where when they have a bad game, it's a bad game. Like they just don't – the offense just does not show up. So concerns me a bit. If LSU loses game 1, I'm going to be pretty nervous for him, to be honest with you. I'm going to be nervous for him to come all the way back and have to beat probably the Hogs twice. I think Arkansas will be more well-equipped to do that, but, you know, it'd be tough for both. But I think Arkansas will be more well-equipped. That being said,
Great minds think alike.
great minds think alike. Let's dive into
And that's not I don't trust Arkansas's pitch. I really do.
No, you just got to make a pick.
You gotta make a
Got to
pick.
make a pick. It is what it is. Picks never personal, as we like to say. All right. Here's some
Are
stuff
they?
on my picks. Opening, they're never personal, I promise. Opening, you're about to find out. Opening weekend. Start with game 1. Coastal Carolina, Arizona, getting us going on Friday. I am going to Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. I think the pitching staff, you're red hot. You've won 27 straight. Admittedly, you taught me into Arizona, though. That's why I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, keep an eye on this one. But I think the Chants are hot. I'm going with Coastal Carolina to win that first game. Game 2, I'm going Oregon State, Louisville. Give me the Beavers. Again, Oregon State, a team I was really high on going into the Supers, even throughout the regionals as well. I thought one of the Oregon teams would lose their regional. It was the Ducks. It was not Oregon State. I'm going to go with Oregon State I just saw that. We just had a couple LSU players, excuse me.
The
Just
Tiger
walked past
Stripes.
it. Shout out.
The
Shout
Tiger
out to,
Stripes on the header in town. Steven Milan
Purple
is
and
here.
gold. Shout out to him. Give me Oregon State. Take down Louisville. Again, all these games scare me because who knows, but you got to make a pick. I'm going with Oregon State. Love what I've seen from the Beavers. They're no strangers to Omaha. Been here, done that, won national titles. You mentioned veteran presence and that aura, I think will show they win that first game. Going to Saturday, UCLA Murray State. Now, for those watching, on brand, there's been a late change of heart, and there's been a changing of the pick. There's a reason we have not posted. There's been a reason we have not posted these graphics yet on social media. Because originally,
and this is not my fault.
No. Because originally, I had Murray State beating UCLA. Going with the Racers like everybody else. I have changed my pick. I am flipping to the UCLA Bruins. I just don't think UCLA is going 2-2 in this tournament.
You're doubting the one-run Racers.
I'm doubting the one-run Racers.
Noted.
Somebody's got to go 2-2, and I don't think it's UCLA.
Bulletin board right there.
I don't think it's UCLA. That offense is red hot, the way they've been swinging it. The pitching staff, we know they can sling it. We know that they can pitch. It's UCLA. Murray State's a great story. They're a fantastic story, by the way. We've gone 50 minutes into the show without me owning up to I was dead wrong. The Cinderella story is not dead in college baseball. We have mid-majors here. I love the field we have, by the way. Coast to coast, we've got all kinds of flavor. We've got SEC. We got mid-major. We got everything in between. It's great to see. The Cinderella story ends in Omaha for Murray State. At least it comes to a halt for briefly in game one. I think UCLA beats Murray State first game on Saturday. LSU, Arkansas. I wrestled with this one. I really did. I wrestled with this one. Cade Anderson against Zach Root. It's elite on elite. The place will be buzzing. It'll be jumping. Harrison, it's you and I's second time ever in Omaha, but it feels like our first because obviously last year when we were here, LSU nor Arkansas were here. That's no disrespect into the fan base.
Well, last year you were only here for the opening
only a couple
weekend.
days too. Yeah, but I'm
finish.
saying with the fan bases, Omaha with LSU here is a different experience. I can't wait to see it. Arkansas same way. They're going to pack that place out. I trust Cade Anderson more than I trust Zach Root. That's really what it comes down to. I think this game's destined to be a 4-3, 5-4 game. Somebody's going to get that clutch knock in the 7th or 8th, put them ahead 1, close it out. I trust Cade Anderson in this spot to outduel Zach Root. Not saying Root's going to be bad, but Cade Anderson to me has had, you love to talk about floors and ceilings. I think he's had the higher floor. I trust him again here in this spot. LSU finds a way. I know the game's not an Alex box, but it's going to feel like it. LSU will edge out Arkansas. Alex Box North. LSU will edge out the Hogs to take that first game, and I think set them up beautifully for the rest of the tournament. Now, let me stick to bracket number 1. Coastal Carolina against Oregon State. Give me the Beavers. You went Beavers as well. I'm going Beavers also. I like Oregon State in this spot. Coastal Carolina, listen, you're due to lose. You're due to cool off. You've won a bunch in a row. You'll have won 28 games in a row at some point. Baseball's a humbling game. There are those who humbled. There are those who about to be. You are about to be humbled by the Oregon State Beavers. You lose to Oregon State in that game. Next game, I didn't even get to, by the way, Arizona-Louisville. That's my bad. I jumped around. Arizona-Louisville in the losers bracket. I apologize. I'm a little too excited. Give me Arizona. Gritty club. It scares me because everybody's got Louisville, I think, going 2-2 for the most part.
Yeah,
for the most part. Dan McDonald.
The lone ACC team.
The lone, and if the ACC goes 2-2, folks, I will be about as insufferable as I've been all season. Some of you in the ACC media will probably block me. Either way, it is what it is. We're going to have some fun with it. I do think Arizona, tough, gritty club. Don't see them going 2-2. I think they come out of the losers bracket, beat Louisville. Now, like I mentioned, back at the top, Oregon State beats Coastal. That puts Coastal in the losers bracket to take on Arizona. I think Coastal outlasts Arizona. Pitching depth's going to be really important here. I think Coastal Carolina picks themselves up off the mat, punches their ticket to the semifinal, where they will face Oregon State again. Harrison, redemption's a beautiful thing. A shot at redemption is a beautiful thing. Not only do the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers force a winner-take-all, if necessary, game, Coastal Carolina goes back-to-back, beats Oregon State twice. Coastal goes back to the national championship.
Wow.
Second time they've been here, second national title they will play in. I'm a believer in Coastal's pitching depth after what they did against Auburn. The lineup 1 through 9, it's a very, very gritty bunch. They got a nice mix of pop, of speed. They put the ball in play. They hit for average. They hit for power. Do a lot of things well. I just think this Coastal Carolina team, listen, I had to eat my crow. I had to come correct when it came to Coastal. I was happy to do so. It's good to see Coastal winning ball games. I got nothing against Coastal. We've had our fun, but now it's time to get serious and talk baseball. Coastal Carolina is one of the favorites in the field for a reason. I think they beat Oregon State twice to get to the finals. Now,
if necessary game, wow.
Who do they play? Bracket number 2. I already mentioned the opening weekend results. To the losers bracket, Arkansas and Murray State. Remember, I changed my pick, so it's Arkansas, Murray State. Poor racers. Hey, listen, you're the one-run racers. You're going to need a whole hell of a lot more than one run to beat the Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas puts, I don't know if I should say it. I won't say it because we're right here with the beautiful Golden Spikes Award in USA Baseball. They put the belt to rear end. Murray State's Cinderella story comes crashing to an end. Arkansas takes out belt to butt. Arkansas takes out some frustration. Nothing against Murray State. But it is what it is. It's just that's it is what it is. Arkansas bounces back in a big way. UCLA and LSU effectively then would be the winner game on that side. It's Anthony Ianson. I trust LSU's 1-2 punch. I don't think there's a better 1-2 punch in all of college baseball. I think they'll show that in the first 2 games. Give me Anthony Ianson against tough game. I think this is a tough game against UCLA. I think another really close game. LSU edges them out to go 2-0, set themselves up in that winner's bracket semifinal game. I think then Arkansas will inevitably get UCLA. The Hogs take down the Bruins, which will set up winner take all to the title. We get I think it's just we're destined, Harrison, to get LSU Arkansas again. I don't think it goes to if necessary. I think LSU is going to be set up so well from a pitching standpoint. They're going to get some extra rest. They're going to have Case and Evans go, which, by the way, did you see? I know it was West Virginia. Struck out like 9 straight guys. 9 straight.
And the flexibility that Anthony Ianson can go in the bullpen, too, if needed. Late in this tournament.
You know he's willing to come back, but I don't even think they're going to need him. I think that combination, Case and Evans, Zach Cowan, who's the lefty they brought up? What was this kid's name?
Maybe you have Will Schmidt.
You'll have Will Schmidt ready to go.
He hasn't thrown a lot of innings,
lefty who just went against West Virginia, who was really, really good. Yeah, I mean, I trust LSU in this spot. I think LSU is going to go a perfect 3-0.
Even though you think Arkansas is better to come out of losers bracket.
I do. It doesn't mean I think they're going to, though. It doesn't mean I think they're going to. I think LSU has been heating up at the right time. Harrison, I was told a stat, much different team. 2023, when LSU won the national championship, going into the College World Series, they were averaging scoring something around like 9.5, 9.6 runs per game. Harrison, this year going into the College World Series, they're averaging scoring over 10 runs per game. I understand the competition, but that's the definition of a ball club that's heating up at the right time. That's what LSU is doing. Don't think they need an if necessary game, which brings me to the National Championship Series. The LSU Tigers and the Shants.
The purple and gold.
The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, who I
Fear the teal.
have doubted from the jump. A mid-major's not even going to Omaha. What did I tell you in the replies of that take?
Dead.
I said, Harrison, I'd love to see it happen. But it ain't happening this year. Boy, was I wrong. I've been wrong a lot this postseason. Got a lot of people in my replies, mentions, DMs, hey, how wrong you are.
Does that mean you don't know ball?
Please don't pick us. Maybe that's what they're saying on the streets. The streets of Omaha are filled with people saying, C Philly doesn't know ball. Well, I tell you what. Give me LSU. Give me Coastal in the final. The LSU Tigers. Bum, 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 bum. Tigers. Tigers. LSU runs the sport of college baseball right now. They've run it over the last 40 years. Coastal's a great story. It'll be a great series. I'm not going to predict if it's a 2-game or a 3-game. Won't be surprised if it's 3. But I think LSU comes out on top, wins their 8th national championship over the last 40 years. Almost a quarter of the titles. It's essentially Title Town down in Baton Rouge. LSU, Jay Johnson, he gets another one after a really drama-filled regular season. He was compared to Ed Orgeron. He was compared to Les Miles. This team by LSU people now. Don't look at me like that. It happened. Trust me. Well documented.
Okay.
Jay Johnson gets the last laugh. He gets his vengeance on some of the naysayers and the doubters. Great season by Kevin Schnall. Great season by Coastal Carolina. Chance, you're running into a different beast in the finals when you take on the Bayou Bengals, when you take on LSU. The SEC will get the last laugh. The SEC will have the national champion for the 6th consecutive College World Series. Give me the LSU Tigers to come in and maybe not even lose a game. Maybe not lose a game.
Chris, I think you just worried the entire Omaha fan base of LSU.
I think
you worried every LSU fan, every purple and gold.
I don't care. Confidence waits for no man. Hey, listen.
I'm a little worried, Chris. We both have very similar brackets and LSU winning it all.
When you get picks wrong, you got to pick like Arizona did. You got to pick yourself up off the mat, fight through adversity. It's that time of year. You keep it moving. That's what we're doing. I'm going LSU over Coastal. Again, Coastal, you're a great club. I think you make it to the finals. The SEC is going to get its second shot at the chance. They take them down to the finals. That's no disrespect or hate to Coastal Carolina, but I think LSU, I have been high on them for the last few weeks. I was high on Arkansas as well, so they're the most complete team in college baseball. But you know, it all comes down to matchups, and I just think in that game one matchup, I would agree with you. I think the winner of that game one is in the finals. I think that's
LSU Arkansas game one winner Saturday night.
I think that's
winners in the finals.
That's a really fair take. You're set up so well after that. We both think it's LSU. I'm going LSU. Like I said, the last couple of weeks, I love what this lineup's doing. It's Monster Milam season, swinging the bat. Bear Jones is coming alive. Derek Curiel is the best freshman in college baseball for my money's worth. Sorry, Texas fans. He is. And I think you've got other guys in the line. Jake Brown stepping up, swinging a big stick. Like I said, Luis Hernandez has been big in the postseason. And then you've got that pitching staff. I just think LSU's a team that's heating up at the right
throw
time.
Maverick Rizzi in there. Great arm.
Throw Maverick Rizzi. Who was the lefty? You got the pitching stats. Well, what's his kid's name? Let me see. Cooper Williams. Goodness, I forgot. Cooper Williams. What he did. All of a sudden, a secret weapon.
Kids got stuff.
We didn't even mention Chase Shores.
I mentioned Chase Shores.
100.
I did 102, 101 with ease. Not walking a lot of guys right now, playing some of his, pitching some of his best ball. I know his family's going to be in town. They're ecstatic to see it. And Chase Shores, the dude's a monster. He's like 6'8", 230, it feels like, walking by him, And I think, just the depth they have in the bullpen. I mean, William Schmidt might come out of the bullpen and just be a guy. He might have an opportunity to just shine on a stage. Jaden Newt as well. He's had some ups and downs. He's got a lot of talent. Everyone here is talented, Chris.
Yes. You don't get here if you're not.
There is no slouch to any of these teams or anyone on these teams. If you're playing for a team, a Division I college baseball team in general, let alone a team that's playing postseason baseball, let alone a team that's playing in the College World Series, you're talented. Yeah. And especially if you throw a lot of innings, you have a lot of at-bats, you're insanely talented. It's just you got to make a pick, and who do you think is going to come up clutch? Who's got that edge? And that's just part of it. I mean, I think the top 4 teams on these teams that wouldn't surprise me if they won a national championship this year, in order. LSU, I would love to see Dave Van Horn win in Arkansas. I think Arkansas.
Listen, I'll say that for all of our Hog fans tuned in, by the way. We both went LSU. I would be ecstatic to be here.
Just
to be
one of the
here
best
to
coaches in college
witness
baseball.
Arkansas's first ever national. I would love
if they were to do it against Oregon State.
Listen,
storyline.
I'll tell you what we're pulling for, what we're biased towards. You already know it. Get me an SEC team in the finals, Harrison. For the love of God. Get me an SEC team in the finals. That's all I'm asking for.
But outside of that, Oregon State, Coastal Carolina, and then Arizona.
Okay, so LSU, Arkansas,
Oregon State, Coastal Carolina, Arkansas.
Arizona is the 5th.
That is my order of who, like, if I had to make the odds, that's what I would put.
Yeah. Harrison, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun.
I say that from a talent standpoint of Arizona, but also a dark horse standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, listen.
Would you have UCLA going way deeper if they were in bracket 1 on top?
I would. Absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, here's what you can say, too. We're going SEC. We're both going LSU, but bracket 1's so fascinating because, listen,
we did these separately, brackets.
We did. Once you get to the finals, brother, anything can happen. The reason we play 3. I mean, anything can happen.
Chris, I talked to in the SEC tournament, I talked to Hunter Inslee, Tennessee. He goes, new season, 0-0 record.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's everyone's mindset in the postseason. New season, doesn't matter. Regular season doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're on a 27-game heater or not. It doesn't matter if you won the SEC regular season title or not. It doesn't matter if you won the SEC tournament title or not. It doesn't matter if you won the Missouri Valley Conference title or not.
Yeah.
Murray State's they're still racing. They don't care. They say we still have more to prove. They want to. And man, I love this field. I really do. I mean, I wish obviously there's a little more SEC in there, but I love the field. I wish Arkansas and LSU were on opposite sides. If I had to pick one thing,
wish we had a SEC team on the other side for sure. But
I love this field. Don't get that wrong. Non-SEC fans, don't get it wrong. I love this field.
Yeah.
Except for Georgia Tech not being in it. I wish Georgia Tech was here. And Danny Hall's final tour, his retirement year. If they got,
they would have been up top. They'd have been bracket one. They'd have been bracket one.
They would have hosted a super. Actually, no, they wouldn't.
Would they not?
No, because they would have played Duke.
Oh, right.
And then they would be playing UCLA.
Okay, got you.
Could you imagine that happened and I picked Georgia Tech?
I would expect nothing less. Harrison, fun stuff. As we close it out, I want to echo what you said as well. Obviously, we're happy LSU Arkansas on the field. Selfishly, we hope the SEC wins the national championship. We feel pretty good about it. But I want to say I do love the field. It's good for college baseball, coast to coast. West Coast has got teams in. SEC's got teams in. ACC got a team in. Mid-majors are in. It's good for the sport, good for the game.
Plural, mid-majors.
I'm glad, mid-majors. I am glad that my preseason take of Cinderella stories being dead and no mid-majors, I'm glad it's wrong because it goes to show there's still a lot of great players all across the country. Hey, whether they're playing in front of 10,000 at Alex Box or they're playing in front of 800 in Murray, Kentucky, the road to Omaha is the same for everybody. Everybody can make it. That's a beautiful thing.
Speaking of the road to Omaha took us through Columbia, Missouri, the Missouri Tigers, through Phi Delta Theta Stadium.
Shout out MIZ.
Hey, getting a brand new field, all turf field. We saw it on the way here, but Chris, to speak on that, like in the NCAA tournament bracket going into the postseason, I did the whole bracket. My championship was Arkansas over UNC. Arkansas over UNC.
Yeah.
And I mean, if UNC would have won it, their super regional made it here, I would have had them going on a deep run and probably to the finals. But with that being said, you talked about preseason. You picked Arkansas to win the SEC regular season.
I did.
They got second. I picked LSU to win the SEC regular season. They got third or fourth.
I believe it was
I think it was third.
Texas obviously wins it.
Both those teams here in Omaha.
How about it?
I mean,
a couple ball knowers.
Well,
ball knowers.
But like with that even further, I had Arkansas, I think, coming in second, I believe. But both those teams facing each other here. Winner of that game, we both see in the finals and probably winning it. Having a great shot to win it for sure. But, I mean, it just goes to show.
We're going to get Harrison a badge that's knower of ball on it. Knower of ball. Ultimate ball knower. If
my bracket comes out perfect, you absolutely better get that. I might change
Harrison,
the act.
I might change the act. I'll get you a glove with ball, knower of ball and like stitched in it. If you have a perfect bracket. Perfect. I'm going to ask you the lottery numbers if you have a perfect bracket.
You want to do a giveaway? You want to do SECU hat giveaway?
Sure.
We'll do a giveaway. Reply with underneath our post of this show with your bracket. You get a perfect bracket, we'll give you an SECU hat. How about that? A perfect bracket.
Perfect. Heck, I'll give you a full-on care package to get a perfect bracket.
You just want to. He just upped the stakes.
Everything.
An SEC unfiltered care package for a perfect bracket.
I'll give you a full-on
in the
care
comments.
Package. Yeah, give it to us.
I'm here for it.
Harrison, final thoughts. We are going to get in some questions, but final thoughts as we sit on the eve of opening weekend. Any last things you want to touch on, hit on? Again, I'll say this. I'm ecstatic for the baseball. Obviously, we're ecstatic to be here. I want to say thank you again to our friends over at Chinook, USA Baseball, for allowing us the opportunity to do this. Come get some seeds. Come get some merch. Come take a picture with the Golden Spikes Award trophy. Come hang out with us. We're going to be all around today, hanging out. Ecstatic to be here. I mean, again, I can't put into words how happy we are and excited we are. And excited for opening weekend. Man, we got 4 great games that I cannot wait to see play out. So,
closing thoughts for me. You're getting the hottest teams in the country here in the best Final 8 that navigated their path as best they could, almost to perfection, you could say, to get here. The storylines, the conference distribution, the upsets, the unknowns, just the coaching trees too, everything revolving around that. I think it goes one further than that. That's not what makes Omaha. It's not the talent on the field. It's not the championship. It's the people. It's the fan bases that show up, that come out to Omaha, that make the journey, the Mecca to the home of college baseball, the holy grail of college baseball of Omaha, Nebraska, from all parts of the country. We got Pacific Northwest. We got Southern California. We got Arizona. We got LSU. We got Baton Rouge.
Coast
we
of South
almost
Carolina.
had Florida.
Yeah.
We had Coastal Carolina. We had South Carolina. We have Louisville. We have a great distribution, and the fans are what make college baseball best. What make the College World Series the best. It's what makes this place thrive. The heartbeat come alive. Just it feels like out of nowhere, honestly. Just you get every fan base. You're talking about the SEC tournament fan bases. So yeah, 16 teams now. I think this is a one-up in that. That's not even disrespect to the SEC as a whole. I think it's a one-up here because the way that format is, you could go one and done now with the new format. But I just think what it means here to be in Omaha, Murray State's here, first time in program history. You got just teams that no one thought would be here. The Omaha Village, how special that is, the experience, the Omaha experience as a whole is what makes that, and it's predicated on the fans here and the storylines and the history of college baseball. 75th anniversary of the College World Series. I can't be more thankful and blessed to be here and do it with you. And, I mean, just the year that we're going to have, the tournament we're going to have here after.
To cap off a great season, you and I.
To cap off a great season after just flying to the seat of our pants last year, booking flights to get here last year 4 days before it started. It got here 4 days later. First Omaha experience. Now this one just kind of a little bit more veteranness to it, but 3 live shows on location, phenomenal locations. Shout out here, the Omaha Village, Chinook Seedery, the Golden Spikes Trophy. I mean, what a blessing that is. Rocco's, Blatt, we've announced those. Show out to that. I can't be more ecstatic and thankful to be here and blessed to do it with you.
Yeah, we like to cut up, mess around, but in all seriousness, grateful. Grateful is the word I think you and I both have. Full of gratitude, full of perspective. It's really awesome. Harrison, before we get out of here, let's get into some comments because we got our folks that have been tuning in all season long.
Can we skip the comments about my Bayou card being revoked?
Maybe.
Those.
Gig'em Bart says Gig'em Racers.
Gig'em Racers.
Bart's a big guy, big time
Chris,
racers
I thought he was
guy.
a UTSA fan after.
Gig'em Bart is a LSU and Arkansas please both lose guy. Saltiness coming out of College Station. Come on, Bart. Come on, Bart. You should want your conference to do well. Bo Molinari says this ACC post-Supers meltdown is incredible. I'd agree.
I'm curious to see.
I agree.
Other people that cover the game that are going to put a bracket out that how far they have Louisville going.
I'm curious as well because again, that's another sleeper.
Yep.
Hey, Bo Molinari says go Beavers. Remember he was in Corvallis.
Yeah, he lives up there.
He was
went
at the
to
game.
He went to the FSU.
He was at the game. Yeah.
And I think he lived in Arkansas for a little bit too.
Yeah, he did. I believe he did. Thomas Chavez says let the band play neck.
If they win it all, some LSU fan will pay the fine.
We gotta keep it PG with the Golden Spikes Award behind us. Y'all know the rest though. Let's see. Thomas Chavez says Tigers went out with a natty. Again, Harrison and I both going LSU. AYS. What's up, Blake? Says what a squad. C Tacker says not SEC related, but my Lamar Cardinals are getting rich from the portal.
They are. Will Davis is becoming mid-major head coach.
Lamar fandom in the chat today?
Lamar fandom, did not expect that. Didn't have that on the bingo card.
Fighting Micah Butels? How about that? Let's see. Kind of flying through these comments real quick. D3M Tigers. I just rewatched LSU Arkansas series this morning. That's dedication. Anderson and Ianson did an amazing job against the lineup of Arkansas. You might recall LSU took 2 or 3 in the regular season.
Yep.
I believe it was Arkansas won game 3 to say. Yeah, they did.
Yeah. I think we both picked LSU in that series.
We did because Alex Box.
I got one for you.
That was a big
You're
part of
pull it up because I'm logged in differently. But Arkansas fans are so delusional. They speak as if they've won a championship.
Joy said she did not want to be a fan of you, but I think now she feels like her hand's forced because you picked LSU.
No, she'll find a way. She'll find somehow, some way. Chris, I think a mid-major finds a way to win a national championship before LSU. Not before LSU, before Joy is on my side or greeting of anything.
Joy did say your Bayou card was not salvaged because it was never granted.
I mean, I got one from that bingo bus, though, especially with my roping skills. Doc taught me how to rope in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Head and heel.
Harrison, a man of many trades. Many trades he is. Master of, or what is it?
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Master of none, though. Master of none. Scott Clement says LSU won't vanish in Omaha. Season team with players that have been there in 2023 and a head coach.
Speaking of that, they came out of losers bracket in 2023 when they won it all.
They did.
And they beat Florida, I think, without Paul Skeens, too, that year.
Good call.
Jeremy pitched in that Rhett Lauder Paul Skeens matchup to go to the championship.
Yeah, Jeremy makes a good point. If Root pitches Saturday like he did against game 1 against Tennessee, LSU is not winning.
I could see that. I mean, he shoved versus a stout lineup. Chris, I got. While you look for another question, I got one for you. Which team has the most home runs here? I know it's a big ballpark, but which team has the most home runs?
That's a good question. Does Oregon State keep it rolling? I don't know. I mean, they had 5 or 6 in that final game. In the Hogs, that's a good pick. Hogs have got – I think the Hogs have the most pop for sure. Hogs have the most pop in the tournament.
I think it's going to be interesting. I'd say – I think Arkansas, but if I had to pick another one, I don't know.
Zona?
Huh?
Zona? Arizona? It's tough.
I don't know. I'm leaning Arkansas, though, for sure.
Yeah,
for
I think Arkansas is that
I'm
team.
going to pull up the team stat leaders on that.
Gene Carlson, I said, I'll throw this out there. The Hogs have an 11-5 record against LSU since 2021, post-COVID. The Hogs handled Anderson in the box in the 1 a.m. game on Friday. Should be a great game Saturday. Woo pig. Did they hit him around? They didn't hit him around, did they?
On what? On which game? On Saturday?
Yeah, game 1. Yeah.
Not as much, I don't think.
The 1 a.m. game is what he said. Yeah.
Hey, we know what happens in Baton Rouge after 1 a.m.
Yeah, I still, though, man, I trust Cade in this spot. I really do. LSU has struggled at times with lefties this season.
They have. I know. I've noticed that, too. I've noticed that.
He only gave up 3 runs. By the way, somebody commented 3 runs is touched. Yeah, he didn't get touched. It'll be a great game. It'll be a great game.
Home run leaders. I pulled it up. 4th in the nation. We're going to talk about teams
Arkansas.
still left. Arkansas, and then
Duke right there.
Duke. Yeah, they were that close. I mean, where's LSU at? LSU 18th in the country in home runs.
Yeah. Oregon State right above them, right?
Oregon State tied for 16th.
Yeah.
Where's Arizona? Let's see. Arizona's not in the top 50.
Hey, S. Young has a good point. Arkansas has to prove they can do it when it matters most because they haven't yet. There's more pressure on them, especially since LSU's got 7 titles already. It's definitely more pressure on the Hogs. They're going to hear all about it. They haven't won their first one.
Especially if they get to a championship against Oregon State.
If there's a rematch, my goodness, are you able to come through in the clutch? Yeah. Can you come through in the clutch? All right, Harrison, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Great stuff. Great show. This has been absolutely incredible, man. This has been incredible. I think we've said enough, said all needs to be said. Games get going tomorrow. Of course, the action continues Saturday through opening weekend, and then we're off and running. SEC, LSU, Arkansas Saturday night. Before we get out of here, again, I'll give you one more opportunity, closing thoughts, just as we wrap it up and get rolling.
College World Series, the mecca of college baseball. This is the home, the heaven of college baseball, Omaha, Nebraska, Middle America, the mecca, the journeys to get here from the teams, the fans, everyone involved. This place is special because of the history and the fans. The fans make this place. The fans make the experience to make the history happen.
Yeah, the people are what make this place great. Can't wait to document it all throughout. We'll be vlogging
the locals,
the whole trip,
the restaurants,
obviously.
Everything.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. And I can't be more thankful, more blessed to be here to cover college baseball, to cover the SEC, to experience Omaha. If you've never been, I hope your team makes it. I hope you get to come experience it, whether your team makes it or not. I've talked to fans that have come every year, like locals that are kind of locals of the state that we just love college baseball.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't care who's in it. We just love college baseball. We love the experience, meeting these fans, meeting these fan bases, and just getting to know them and building relationships. I mean, that's what it's all about. Yeah, content bleeding out of the eyeballs. It's going to be an electric experience. It is the people that make the difference here. Cannot wait to hang out for 2 weeks with. Doesn't matter if you're a Tiger, a Razorback, a Racer, a Shant, a Cardinal, a Beaver, a Bruin, who am I missing? A Wildcat, whoever it is. Or if you're just a fan and love baseball, can't wait to hang out with and be surrounded by those who love this sport, love this game for the next 2 weeks. That's really what makes the event so incredible, so special. And a lot more content coming through SECU Airways, through the channels. Yeah, through the social media outlets, from the game, on the field, off the field, the fan experience, the food. Stay tuned. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Content bleeding out the eyeballs, guys. We want to say thank you to you because without your love and sport, there's no way we would be here doing what we're doing, where we are, where we're going. It's all because of you, your love and sport at SEC Unfiltered. Shout out to the baseball helmet. We finally got it. I finally got it done. Got it on display. I told you it'd be there. Shout out to you, my friend. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy we're able to do this together.
Truly grateful.
You
for
can't even see the drop cloth. We got the tablecloth.
I know we got the tablecloth as well. Grateful for your friendship, man. Grateful for your hard work, dedication. It's been a quick season, but a long season that has culminated in this. We dreamed about this moment. We manifested this moment, and now we're officially here.
We planned for this moment.
We planned for this moment, and you all are officially here with us as well. Once again, shout out my guys Matt and Brandon over at Chinook. They're flinging seeds right now. Come get your seeds at Omaha Baseball Village. Shout out USA Baseball.
Shout out USA Baseball.
This award will be handed off to a very deserving party before Game 1 of the College World Series final.
This year we do have one playing in the College World Series.
We do.
Will Lloyd.
Yeah, we do.
Liam Doyle and Alex Lodis.
Both out.
Great trio to be in the finals.
Yeah. It's going to be cool to see who wins that. Shout out Omaha Baseball Village, who showed us love before the show, during the show. Actually, looks like we're going to be collabing on some content here shortly on the social. So really appreciate them. And again, thank you to you all. And to those who we're going to see out here in person, hang out with, tailgate with. Can't wait, man. It's going to be an electric next 2 weeks. Thank you all so much, guys. Once again, hey, before we get out of here, as we always do, going to tell you about our friends over at FANDUEL. Hey, FANDUEL's the one that made this trip possible. FANDUEL. Shout out to FANDUEL. Always taking care of us, guys. Again, we're always brought to you by our friends at FANDUEL. The wait is over. Baseball season's finally here, and you can start the season strong on FANDUEL, America's #1 sports book, because right now FANDUEL is celebrating the return of baseball by giving new customers $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FANDUEL's got so many ways for you to get in on the action, from hits to steals to home runs. They got a lineup filled with all your favorite bets, or if pitching's more your thing, FANDUEL's got a deep bullpen of bets from strikeouts to shutout innings. So when you place your first bet, it can be in almost anything, and if it hits, you'll get $250 in bonus bets. Guys, whatever you're betting on, odds to win the College World Series, you can bet on the exact final prediction. If you think it's going to be LSU over Coastal or LSU over Oregon State or somebody else, you can bet on that exact finals prediction.
If someone bets on, I'm going to say, if someone bets on, and I'm throwing this out there, sorry. If someone bets on the exact final before the tournament starts of Team A over Team B and gets it right, we'll give them an SECU hat.
You get a care package. You get whatever you want.
You got to post in the comments below. You got to have the receipts.
Yeah, let me know. Anyways, whatever you're betting on, game lines, totals, winners of the tournament, make sure you do it over at FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today. That's FANDUEL.com/SECU. Make every moment more with FANDUEL, official partners of Major League Baseball, of SEC Unfiltered. And let's just say it, of college baseball as well. FANDUEL, official partners of college baseball. Really exciting stuff. Once again, Harrison, appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend. This was a blast. Thank you to you all tuned in. Thanks to Chinook. Thanks to USA Baseball. Thanks to Omaha Baseball Village. Make sure, as always, you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. He's Harrison Fant. I'm Chris Phillips. Come find us at Omaha Baseball Village. Come find us all around Charles Schwab. We'll be here. We'll be here all throughout. We'd love to meet you and interact. We'd love to hang out. We'd love to have a good time. And we'd love to see the SEC make a run to another national championship. Content bleeding out of the eyeballs. We'll let you know what the deal is. Friday Night Spikes, post-game reactions. Obviously, live on location show back on Monday at Rocco's. We'll be taking Jello shots the next Wednesday at Blatt. In the meantime, y'all take care. Appreciate you all. Harrison Fant. I'm Chris Phillips. This is The Windup, live from Omaha. We'll talk to you next time. Cheers.